Welcome, everybody, to the Morning After podcast. We've got David the Gay Hater Combs. Cody, the Indifferent Guy. And me, your host, Big John Stud.
Why would I be called the Indifferent Guy? What does that mean?
Because me and David are like two different extremes, and you're just like in the middle, except you're more on my side than David's. Yeah.
True. We're pretty depraved.
Yeah.
Big
David's
words. I like
David's the minority in this. And speaking of minorities, gay marriage is legalized. Yay! David's super happy about it.
Who cares?
Yeah, David told me, I was like, that's pretty exciting. Is it not, Cody? It is. It's a big time, and
Really it is. I'm totally straight and I love it. I think it's awesome.
it's a huge time for human equality, and it's one step closer to everybody being equal. And David was like, it's not that exciting. I said, why? He said, should have happened sooner.
What? What does that even mean? David. Come on, man.
Well, why do people care so much
Because
when it has to happen?
what?
Why do people care so much that they had to wait this long?
Because it should have happened a long time ago, but people are ignorant.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you not understand?
I agree with you. Yeah, people are ignorant.
Yeah. Okay,
But
I don't see.
If they can marry each other. I mean, nobody's saying that they can't be together. They can officially be together now.
Because it was a big deal that they couldn't, because they didn't have the same rights as straight couples.
But nobody was telling them they couldn't be together.
Yeah, but it was like in principle saying that you couldn't make it.
There are other legal reasons, including
Benefits.
taxes, benefits, all kinds of stuff. Just
That's
like
some kind of stuff.
just like the benefits that any of us would get when we become married.
Except for David. Well, I mean, not now, but yeah. Like a week ago.
Now you're in the clear, David.
Sweet.
But like,
So that's a thing now.
I think that I don't see how you're missing the point.
Okay, so I was talking with somebody today, not very long, it was just a short little talk about this whole same-sex marriage thing being legal throughout every state, and they said it wasn't a choice for each state, it was just kind of ruled upon. It's like an overall, everybody's getting it. Is that true?
Yeah. It's legal in all 50 states now. It was made by the Supreme Court. It was a decision by them.
So has this vote ever happened before?
What do you vote? There's a couple states where it's already been legalized.
Yeah, I know, but for overall, like they just did.
What do you mean?
Has there been a vote to make every state legal for the same sex to get married, like there just was?
No, because it just happened.
But there could have been a vote. Am I wrong? Where people just didn't vote for it?
I'm not sure. I don't think there was a vote. I think it was like the Supreme Court decided on it. I don't know if there was a vote per se.
Well, there had to have been a vote, right?
I mean, there probably was one at some time, but it never passed. I don't know.
See, that'd be an interesting stat that we don't know right now, obviously. But to know how many times that got voted on before.
Cody, can you enlighten us on how this came about and how the Supreme Court justice works and makes their decision on this?
No, but I think we should stop talking about politics because we're all way too dumb to be saying anything about it really. We don't know what's going on. We just know there's gay marriage now.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's it was legal in like California and probably somewhere else.
No, there's a good handful of states. I just can't remember how many.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure California was one of them though.
Probably so.
they're really, what's the word?
Progressive,
Yeah, they're ahead of the time, it seems, a lot of the time.
liberal.
Nice,
Could be.
language there, Nick.
Thanks. I have a pretty large vocabulary.
I like
Really?
to think that sometimes you throw in a good one, and I'm like, dang, I need to remember that.
Write that down in my notes.
It's like, and I'm not a big bookworm, you know, but like, it's like I just hear things and it sticks.
I noticed that with you too, Nick. I noticed that you use big words appropriately very often.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, use big words very often inappropriately.
Yeah. Inappropriately works.
Yeah, see? I almost said unappropriately, which would have been wrong.
I use words wrong sometimes too, David. Don't worry.
No, you don't, Nick. No, you don't.
Okay, I don't.
Exactly. Anyway,
But I do though.
same-sex marriage all across the board in the United States.
Yep.
Yay.
Your
Go
your
away.
lack of enthusiasm. Your lack of enthusiasm was really ticking me off.
Well, like I said earlier, I'm still on the whole thing of it should have been done a long time ago, but I'm glad it's done now, so round of applause. Go America. America.
I told him, I was like, if you were alive back in the 1860s, you'd say the same thing about freeing the slaves. Like, yeah, I guess it's cool, but should have happened sooner.
Yeah, I did say that. You made a good point, Nick.
Oh, you guys, I read this really stupid / funny thing on Facebook.
Enlighten us on what it was.
It's where is it? Posted this.
I think I read that.
Comment.
I'll make sure to edit his name out. So
Yeah, edit that out. We don't want. Okay, so you ready for this?
yeah, I'm ready.
Religion isn't allowed in schools, but gay marriage in the U.S. is perfectly okay. LOL. Good job, America.
Good job, America.
Now, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
They can't be right all the time. Am I right?
Who do you mean they?
America.
Cody.
What was all that about, Cody?
Cody.
You can edit that out, David.
No, I'm not gonna edit that out, Nick. Cody.
He's just gonna stop editing that out.
Yeah,
Editing stuff out.
I'm
Even though
done
you
with
kind
you
of,
guys.
even though you know you're gonna get our podcast taken down, and we're not gonna have a show anymore.
If they like
Like-
us, they'll find us.
I guess that's your decision. No, not with all these racial slurs.
All right. So, what do you think about that, Cody?
Think
Cody,
about
what-
about this podcast, David.
Hmm?
Think about the people who know about this podcast. You gonna leave it in there?
Yeah. Okay. So, Cody, what do you think about that?
Did you hear me? Did you hear it?
What do I think about?
No. Oh, no. The post that made.
No, but for real, could you repeat the question?
Okay.
It's
Okay,
a statement
so-
more like.
So you know who I'm talking about, right?
No, who are you talking about?
He posted this today on Facebook.
Oh, okay, sure.
says, religion isn't allowed in schools, but gay marriage in the U.S. is perfectly okay. LOL, good job, America.
Yeah, he doesn't have a very high tolerance for this type of situation.
So what I'm wondering is, what exactly is he arguing?
Okay, I think that. Okay. That's not okay. So whenever I first read it, I thought he was. In my mind, I first thought of like the whole God in school, and then like how the same-sex marriage is like in the Bible or whatever. I kind of related that to what he was saying.
I don't think, because like the way, or at least the way he said it, his argument doesn't really make any sense, or what he's trying to say doesn't make any sense, because he's comparing apples and oranges here.
But I think his relation was the Bible. How in the Bible says, in the Bible it says about same-sex marriage and religion in schools.
It doesn't say anything about same-sex marriage.
Does it not?
It says like one man shall not lay with another or something like that.
Yeah, but
how about we not? Hold on. How about I don't just go spouting off Bible quotes on this show?
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Well, I'm sure you understand. Everybody else understand. Like he's trying to. What I'm saying is, I think he's trying to relate the Bible.
Yeah.
What the Bible says, which I don't exactly know.
But like, you can't really, because it doesn't make sense. Because he's saying religion. I get why he's upset. Religion isn't allowed in schools. Plenty of people are upset about that. I understand it. But gay marriage in the U.S. is perfectly okay.
Yeah,
like the way he says it doesn't like make sense.
Yeah, he probably could have versed himself a little better.
And I think I understand what he's trying to say. And I just think he's completely wrong on the topic.
So, do you think religion should be allowed in schools?
No. Or sorry, that was good.
Yeah.
Okay, you think this should, and I guess you're for the same-sex marriage, or no?
Yes. Okay, so I think it would be okay for religion to be in school as a topic of debate, or not debate, but not to be the way it's taught and talked about in church. Like, so you give people the facts and, whatever, and let them decide, or the kids, let them decide, but don't talk about it the way they talk about it in church, because that would be a very biased way of,
Yes, you would never be able to find anybody to not be biased with that, though.
Yeah, because if you're gonna say stuff about the Bible to a group of people, then you probably believe in the Bible.
Because I feel like most people are on one or the other side of the spectrum.
Exactly. I totally agree.
It'd be a tough time to find somebody who could very fairly talk about both topics.
Yeah, there's not going to be someone that says for God to love the world, all that stuff, and then say, but he might not have loved the world at the same time. There's not going to be a person or a teacher that would probably say that, or that believes that.
I don't know. It's a touchy subject.
It is. Religion and politics in the same conversation.
But I don't think right now would be a good time to try and incorporate religion into schools.
No. We've done enough this year.
What are you talking about?
We've done enough as a country this year.
Oh yeah, we made enough progress for the next decade.
Yeah. we'll think about that next year under the next president.
Yeah, dude, just think about it. In the last, 7 years, we've had a black president, and gay marriage is completely legalized.
And
weed is almost completely. Bin Laden's been killed, and weed is almost legalized. That's about like a whole century's worth of stuff going on.
Yeah, I think within the next 10 years, we'll see a nationwide decriminalization of marijuana.
That's only going to be good for the country.
Or
it could only help.
Even if it's another 20 years, still though, it's going to turn out to be good.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, we won't have as many right now effects, but we'll have the long-term effects as far as helping out the economy and assumably helping out people's health.
Oh yeah, I think
Colorado, made so much money in their first year of having recreational legal that they were struggling to find ways to use the money as tax revenue. Like, they couldn't even figure out how to allocate the money.
What do? You create new programs. Here's what you do. You create new programs, fund all this money into green technology and solar energy.
And grow more marijuana to help more people with their seizures and...
Exactly. Boom. We don't need gasoline anymore. Boom, we're not killing the earth anymore.
Yeah, I read this thing, and these numbers are for sure not going to be right because I don't remember, but there was this girl, she had, let's say, this isn't an exact number again, she had, let's say, 100 seizures a week, and then after taking this medical marijuana through an injection in a syringe, she was reduced her seizures down to like 10 or so a week, which is incredible if you ask me.
It was not a syringe or injected, it was...
Yes, it was.
Tincture. That was probably an eyedropper.
It was definitely in a syringe. I wrote a big long article about it.
Well, there's a few different ways that they've administered it to people.
Yeah.
I've not heard administration methods that include injection. I think it's wrong.
I've heard about the eyedropper, whatever, I seen it on like a 2020 or something. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, it really helped that little girl so much. But they lived in New Jersey.
Yeah,
and they had to go. They had to go all the way to Colorado, and they had to uproot their lives and move, basically, almost all the way across the country.
Yeah, it was a documentary with Sanjay Gupta. I think he covered it on CNN.
Yeah, they didn't inject that girl, I'm pretty sure. I think it was like eyedroppers.
They didn't inject anybody ever because it doesn't work that way.
I'm pretty sure they did inject it.
No.
Well, my numbers weren't right and my logic wasn't right apparently.
Those are podcast stats right there.
Podcast stats, MAS podcast stats. Numbers and logic don't make sense.
And guess what? Fuck you, David.
Alrighty.
Oh, wow.
So. Okay.
Sometimes podcast as well.
So, should we kind of skate off this topic now? Off
sure.
the same-sex marriage.
I think we've said about all we can on it.
Yep. Alright, so another big thing that kind of happened in the last week or two is the Confederate flag being not sold anymore.
No, I think the big topic you're wanting to talk about is the Charleston shooting.
Yeah, but more of this Confederate flag deal, because it's kind of an off spin.
No, but it's directly caused because of that.
Exactly.
And you kind of have to acknowledge what happened.
It definitely did happen.
Yeah, it happened. It's pretty messed up.
Okay, so I wrote it down here somewhere. Okay, so 9 black people were killed in a black church.
Yes.
On June 17th, 2015, by a person named Dylan Roof. His motive for doing this was black people were taking over the world. and he posted pictures of himself holding the Confederate flag on the internet. So then, that kind of escalated into that being his motive, and that like becoming like a face of this whole thing. And then everybody's like, "Oh no, Confederate flag bad now."
No, but from where I see it and how I see it, I do think it's not necessarily bad, but what it represents isn't great.
I guess
because it represents, to me, what I think is like oppression, and because that's what the Confederacy used during the Civil War. And I think it's ridiculous how people try to misconstrue it and say that it means so much more. It's not just that. Like those are the same kind of people that say that the KKK are a peaceful and accepting organization.
Yeah, so I think that most people see the Confederate flag as like not so much detail as like oppression and all the stuff you just said, but more of like a symbol of the South, like they're from the South. I think that's why people have the clothes and have the flags. Like everybody you see, if you've ever been to like Missouri or any of the southern states, you would see that at least one or two people have a Confederate flag or some sort of clothing that has a Confederate flag on it. So I think it's more of an indirect meaning of what they think.
I would be willing to bet that there's a good percentage of people who have those in some form or another who don't even realize what it means.
Yeah.
Oh, I guarantee, because the amount of Americans that are so
up in arms,
uninformed,
yeah,
and so ignorant. And I don't mean ignorant as in the way of people who just don't care, because the definition of ignorant is not knowing, and there's so many uninformed people who didn't pay attention in school and didn't care and didn't open up a history book.
Yeah, or didn't listen in that class.
Exactly.
But anyway, the Confederate flag is kind of becoming a face of this whole thing. When people are
you mean racism? Yeah, it's always been a face for that.
Well, but the Confederate flag is kind of like is what's making people mad, is because they don't understand. But since they don't understand, it's not a thing anymore.
What do you mean?
They can buy.
What do you mean?
I think I know what he's saying here. I was about to say earlier that let's say I see a truck with a Confederate flag in the back. I've never thought to myself as a first impression, oh wow, that guy's a white supremacist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
To me, it feels like it doesn't even really like represent the same symbolism anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're getting mad because they're ignorant.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I think both sides are pretty guilty of that, though.
And the people that are removing the flag know more, and that's offending the Southerners also, because they know more than them, and they're taking the flag down above that Capitol building.
Do you think,
whatever it was?
Cody, do you think it was wrong of them to remove the Confederate flag from the Capitol building in South Carolina?
Why was it there?
Because it's a big part of South Carolina history, apparently.
Good
That's
question.
what they said. That's what they said. It was a big part of South Carolina history, because apparently nothing's happened in South Carolina in the last 150 years.
Wow.
Apparently it's a pretty big deal.
Except, I guess the last big thing was the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the case,
And I don't.
they should probably take it down.
I don't understand, because the Confederate flag doesn't, because it's not their state flag.
Right.
Because I don't know of any other states that just fly a flag like that. Because it's not the flag of any country, of any state, any nation.
Right, exactly. I don't think it should have ever been there to begin with.
I mean, back in like 1860, alright, I understand. But it's 2015.
Yeah. So let me name some stores to you guys that aren't going to be selling this flag anymore. Those stores, as of when I wrote this, was just like a few days ago. So like probably Monday or Tuesday. Walmart, Amazon, Sears, and eBay are not going to be selling any products that have to do with the Confederate flag anymore, as we know of right now.
See, I just think that's dumb. I don't see any point in that.
It's,
Well, I imagine they think that it puts a bad face on their company.
that's what I think it is. They're trying to save face here and come out, smelling like roses.
They're joining the rush, basically.
They're trying to look even better.
Yeah. They're just joining the crowd pretty much.
They're like, hey, this happened. This is a good time to make ourselves look really good and go with the majority and get rid of all these Confederate flags.
Yeah. And also, here's another little fact. As of June 25th, which was yesterday, Apple removed all games that have to do with the Civil War on the iTunes Store. Or the App Store.
That's a little ridiculous.
That's fucking ridiculous. It's crazy.
But don't worry about the shooter games.
That's going a little too far.
Don't worry about the shooter games. That's not a problem in America.
I feel like removing games that have to do with the Civil War is a little much.
Maybe they need those games to teach people the history.
Because I don't know. Whatever. That's not my place.
It's a pretty sad thing, that shooting, but I don't know.
Cody, what are your thoughts on the entire subject?
On the entire subject of what?
Of the shooting and the flags getting pulled down from the stores and whatnot.
Didn't I already say what I had to say about the flags?
Yeah.
Might have.
Well, then the shooting.
What shooting?
The Charleston shooting. The whole reason for this.
I guess I'm not really familiar with the backstory.
Okay. Then, did you explain it, David?
Okay, I'll read it again. 9 black people were killed at an all-black church. A guy named Dylan Roof says black people were taking over the world. Roof posted pictures of him holding the Confederate flag on the internet. So that's where the whole correlation started. Since he killed his black people, the Confederate flag, in my opinion, kind of became the face of the whole idea here.
That's pretty ridiculous.
And that's pretty much the reason. That is the reason why they're not selling Confederate flags anymore, or anything that has to do with Confederate flag.
They're just scared it's gonna hurt business somehow if they don't all follow suit.
They definitely are. I haven't looked up since I wrote this how many more stores have been added. Like I said, Walmart, Amazon, Sears, and eBay. Those are pretty big stores. Stores and online stores. So if you don't got, there's probably more that have been added to that.
I think it's alright. Those are some pretty big ones.
Right, exactly, I agree.
I think it's just a tactic to
stay out of the water. Stay out of this whole thing.
Well, I mean, they've indirectly put themselves in the whole thing by doing that, because I feel like it doesn't matter whether they did it or not. If they wouldn't have done it, they would have stayed out of it. Somebody might have brought it up.
Yeah. Let me run that situation by you. Let's say this whole shooting happened, and they did see the pictures of the Confederate flag on the internet. Would anybody, I mean anybody, go on Walmart.com or go to Walmart and see the Confederate flag and be like, I'm not buying that. That guy put those pictures on the internet and he had the Confederate flag. There's no way I'm buying that. That's, like, what do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think that would have been a situation that it ever came up?
Possibly.
There really are people just that crazy, man.
But I think that they seen this as a chance to make themselves look better when they didn't have to do a thing and just stayed out of it.
I mean, they are looking better, but how many people you think are actually were buying Confederate flags that added to that much subject of the whole Confederate flag drama? What do you guys think about the Mississippi state flag? Since there's a Confederate flag on it, do you think they're going to be changing that up any?
No.
You don't think they're going to change it at all?
No, because I think that
that's a much bigger deal. That's like a really big deal.
Okay, here, let me screen share so you guys can see. And for those of you that don't know, who are watching that don't know what it looks like, check this out.
I feel like
this is what the Mississippi state flag looks like.
Because I don't think that the flag is really that big of a deal. I think that everybody's making it a big deal because they want something to rage against, and they want to put a face on something that they can hate, and something easy like that, like that's an easy target. And
I mean, if you're taking one thing, if you're changing one thing, you gotta change it all. You can't. I mean, then you're gonna look like the bad guy. Since Walmart, Amazon, Sears, and eBay all joined in, and you don't do something about it, you're gonna look like the bad guy. Don't you think?
No, because I think the whole Confederate flag thing is gonna blow over.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think that's going to be a permanent face of this whole situation.
Yeah. And it really kind of takes away from the whole, like how do I say this, like the sadness of it all, pretty much. It takes away from that.
It's because the people want something to hate. They want, like, something that everybody knows of, that they can kind of, label as the reason for this.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll probably like keep pushing it back until nobody really remembers it anymore. They'll be like, oh, what are you talking about, Confederate flag? Yeah, I'm on CNN.com right now, and they have a little article about it, and it says House postpones vote on resolution to remove the Confederate flag from Mississippi state flag.
What's the flag gonna be though?
I don't know. But like I said, they're probably just going to keep postponing it and until the whole thing blows over, like you said. The vote was 240 to 184. Cody, what do you think?
I don't know, I stopped listening.
Damn it, Cody.
Alright, so that is going to do it for this episode number 7 of the MAS podcast. Follow us on Twitter at MASPodcast. We have a sub right now, reddit.com/r/MASPodcast if you care to go there and talk about anything with the hundreds of millions of people that are talking about it right now. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel. We're hoping to start coming up with a schedule of when podcasts will be released, because there's not a lot of stuff that goes on most of the time. But like you've seen here, this week and last week, there was a Confederate flag drama and the same-sex marriage drama, so obviously we're going to be talking about that, but not every week or every day something happens like this. So be sure to leave your idea of what we should do down in the comments. Like the show, I think I said that already. Subscribe to the channel. I'm David. This is Nick. This is Nick, right here. Where is he? There he is. That's
Hi.
Cody. Cody's not here.
He's probably
Thanks for watching. This is episode number 7.